Hi, my name is Matt. I'm from N200. We are the official registration partner and lead capture partner for the P&M series of events. And we're going to talk to you, there's been some quite interesting news today from Ruth talking about what you can do more pre-show and how you can sort of get engaged a bit more pre-event. Simon, a lot more on the planning and what you do or don't do, I think, at the event. And then Lee about creating that unique story as well. So we're going to look at three things, pre-show, at show, and during show, that will help you have a better event, have a more successful event. I'm aware that time's running on a little bit, so if you could take just 1 minute, speak to the person next to you and find out what their objectives are for exhibiting, or if they're your colleague, just have a quick discussion about what that might be. Go. Okay, I'll come back to why we did that in a minute. First thing, pre-event, three things you're looking at. 57% of sales have taken place before you've actually engaged with a customer. So the exhibition's a perfect location for you to bring in potential customers or hot prospects, or even existing customers, to show them your latest products, your latest equipment, whatever it might be. So you need to think about how to engage with them before the event even happens. So UBM have offered you guys a free tool that I think is linked through your operations manual called the Partner Portal. This basically enables you guys to capture registrations on behalf of the event. Fantastic, you're bringing more visitors to the event, but actually anyone that registers through your own form, you actually get to see that data as well. So send that out to your existing customers, send it out to potential customers as well. Put AdWords up on it, get a hype going around the event. If you're on Twitter and Facebook, LinkedIn, things like that, make sure you share your link in all of those sorts of places. Give it to your sales reps, put it on the bottom of your emails, wherever you might be sending communications out to people so that you can get more and more data for that event. And the importance is that you can then find them on Twitter, have a bit of a conversation with them, find out what they might be interested in. And don't forget to pick up the phone. Everyone likes a phone call. They'll be getting probably quite a few different emails about the event. So just make sure you engage with them a little bit differently. Typically, 64% of people that register through your own form then attend the event. So out of every 100, you've got another 64 potential customers that you might not have had before. And be targeted with the information that you've given them. They've been kind enough to give you their contact details, for example, so that you know that John, Joe, and Jerry might be interested in cars, and Barry likes fishing boats. Make sure you're giving them something back and a reason to come to your stand. This also gives you an opportunity to look at the people that might not be relevant for you, might not be the type of customer. You can only find that out if you start to converse with them before the event has even begun. And book meetings. You've got Victoria doing the Global Meetings program. She's doing a workshop, I think, in this room after this. You've got all that information. You know who's attending. You know that they're interested in. So make sure you've got the right salespeople, or marketing, or ops, or whoever it might be from your organization on stand, to have those meetings with the right customer coming to you. By finding out a little bit more and doing a little bit more work pre-event, you'll have a much more successful event, and you'll have those meetings scheduled and ultimately create a bit more business. So to give you an idea, Electronic Theatre Controls had over 90 clients registered through these forums. Their sales teams were engaged and talking a lot more to customers beforehand about what they were going to be showing and what they could see at the event. And they had 75% of those then registered and, then attended the event as well. So they had a much more successful event knowing the type of people they would see, their existing customer base who would be there, and then they had over 1,000 leads created at the event as well. And that's through a considerable effort in their pre-show marketing. So at the event, 72% of exhibitors rate capturing leads as the #1 reason for exhibiting. Could you do a quick hands up if capturing leads is the main reason that you're coming to this event? There's quite a few of you. So roughly 72%, maybe a bit less. So when you're looking at your leads, do you just throw business cards in a bin or write notes, hopefully not on the back of a fag packet, but maybe a notepad? When you get back to the office, where does that leave you? You have no idea what you're doing, which lead to follow up, which one might have been a hot or prospect or whatever it might have been. So think about your lead capture. Simon went through a bit of a checklist of some of the sorts of questions you maybe need to look at. So you need to tailor those questions. If that's creating a hot or ice-cold type lead, if it's interested in a certain product, it could be if you're an international company, you might have reps around the world that would be better off picking up that lead after the event. Also plan your follow-up, really important. Who is taking ownership of those leads? who is going to make sure that they are followed up and that someone has contacted them. If that's yourself, great, you guys are on board and you know it. But make sure you brief your staff how you're capturing the leads, what the plan for follow-up is, so that everyone that's on that stand knows what to do when capturing a lead and ultimately helping you close another deal. More business at the event. And respond in real time. So Visit Connect is a tool that you guys can use at the P&M series of events. It either comes in app form or you can use a traditional data pen as well. We are next doors, and we've shown quite a few already this morning or this afternoon I should say, how it all works. But very simply, and you probably can't see us at the back, so do come see us. You scan the badge, you can see the customer's information live, and you can ask them specific questions that we've just been through on their business. You can also go through and make any specific notes on that lead you might want to. So you can free type any notes, do a quick voice memo if that's easier, take a picture if they've got plans or you want to do an awkward selfie with them, whatever it might be. All of that information goes live to your online portal, so use it. You know of those leads who might want a phone call, who might want to book a meeting, or what product they might be interested in and see a relevant brochure. So before the show's even finished, you can be targeting them with information before your competitors. So it gives you another advantage over the competitors next to you. And use your invites. So through the partner portal, you've registered a whole load of people. You can see then who has attended the event. So you can actually realize that John, Barry, and Joe have all attended, but Jerry has not yet shown up. Give him a phone call. Tell him you'll be at the networking drinks later, or meet for lunch the next day, or whatever it is. But use the information that you've spent the time capturing before the event, and at the event monitoring what's going on. To give you an idea of how that's worked, Exhibitor are a publisher. They scanned nearly 3,000 potential subscribers at the event, and it was a trade-type magazine they were doing it on. As soon as someone walked away from the stand that hadn't subscribed, they were emailing them with a special offer to go back to the stand. So they were looking at that live portal to see that Matt had walked away, not yet bought the subscription, sent me an email to walk back and buy that subscription. So instantly they were creating business before someone had left the event. And as a result, they had over 750 additional subscribers to what they got, post-event. So again, they're able to see their return a lot quicker. Post-event, anyone recognize this picture of themselves, possibly? You've been away 3 or 4 days. You've had hundreds of conversations. You've got a whole load of leads to follow up. You've got your emails to follow up from being out for a few days and a few phone calls and possibly a hangover as well. So everyone can probably relate to this. So if you've captured the right information, you're going to be able to follow up better. Going back to finding out those objectives on the people next to you earlier on, hopefully you can remember that because it was only about 6 minutes ago. If you multiply that by 50, 100, 500, maybe 1,000 odds conversations you might be having at an event, will you remember the one that will make that difference to your business, that one crucial lead? Probably not. You'll probably have forgotten by it and moved on to the next plan, the next task list in your agenda. So 80% of leads are not followed up post-event. I don't know about you, but my boss would be pretty angry if I was throwing away £80,000 every time we exhibit at an event. You'd probably not tell him, but that's the importance of following up. That's the kind of 3 things really that you need to do post-event. Have that plan and make sure you follow it. There's a really simple calculation to figure out your ROI on the event. Take your revenue, divide it by your cost, and that gives you the return on every pound you've spent. Obviously, some of you might have different objectives. It might be growing a mailing list, for example. You might be doing research on products or something like that. Again, through capturing that right quality of information, you can find out if the event's been a success for you, or indeed, if it's not quite worked, you can have a better conversation with your sales rep, for example, about maybe a speaking opportunity next year, or sponsoring a different area, or exhibiting in a different area. So if you don't have that information, you can't have as good a conversation with your UBM sales rep as well. Sorry, Simon. So close with air conditioning, we're at an interiors fit-out show. They had 85 leads, 12 hot, 1 project worth just over £500,000. The investment of £4,500 generated over £1 million of revenue, with an ROI of £220 on every £1 spent. That's not relevant to you, but the fact that they could prove it was. When it came back to booking next year, shall we exhibit at that show and spend that £5,000 again? It was a pretty clear answer that they should. So if you don't capture it, you won't know. In summary, pre-event, find out who's going, be targeted, book that meeting, go to Victoria's session. At the event, organize your lead capture, respond in real time, and use those invites that you've captured before the event's even begun. And post-event, follow up. Ultimately measure it as well to make sure it's a success for you. Thank you very much.